Welcome to the GotStocks Podcast, powered by IBN. This original audio production delivers market and sector insights, as well as exclusive interviews with innovative executives shaping the future in fast-moving industries, and may feature a client partner of IBN or one of the 60-plus investor-focused brands within IBN's dynamic brand portfolio. As a multifaceted financial news and publishing company, IBN leverages its extensive distribution network, utilizing multiple proprietary corporate communication tools to introduce both public and private companies to a vast and diverse audience of investors, consumers, influencers, journalists, and other targeted segments of the public. IBN may have received compensation to produce this audio content. Please be sure to read IBN's entire disclaimers for full disclosures. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the next revelatory episode of IBN's GotStocks Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Stuart Smith, and you have just dialed into the GotStocks Podcast, brought to you by the Investor Brand Network. And again, we are going to shine a spotlight today on a very cool stock, something near and dear to my heart, honestly, and that's going to be SEGG Media Corp., traded on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol SEGG. What does SEGG stand for? Well, that's Sports, Entertainment, Gaming, Global. So this is a company that focuses on the things that we all love the most, the distractions that we all need in our daily life, sports and entertainment. We're lucky enough to be joined by Matthew McGahan. He is the CEO and president of the company. Let me get him on the screen here with us now. Matthew, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us here at the Investor Brand Network. Welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Wonderful to have you. So let's start with the basic building blocks of who is SEGG Media Corp?
Well, nothing like an easy question to start with. I'm sure you're aware, it's been quite a journey the last 2.5 years. But SEGG Media, Sports, Entertainment, Gaming, Global, is born from lottery.com, I suppose is the best way to describe it. When I got involved in the company back in November 2022, it was lottery.com. And as most people will know, it was listed onto NASDAQ, I think, during the period of 2021. It went through a turbulent time. There was some pretty well-documented press about some of the highs and lows of lottery.com and its journey up to the NASDAQ and the issues that it had once it listed. And I suppose my story, my journey started around about October, November of 23, and it's really been one of turn the company around first, clean house, deal with the issues that we inherited. Put in a new board, put in a new management team, build out 2 new business models, one for lottery.com and the wonderful brand that was sitting in the data room without a business plan attached to it, which was sports.com. Try and find ways of building back investor confidence, dealing with the issues and delinquencies that we had with NASDAQ and the SEC. And hopefully get to the point where you can say to the markets, hey, we're back. We may well be under a new guise of SEGG Media, but we believe that is it's a formidable brand, but it tells, or it closes the story. I think that's probably the right way to put it. That lottery.com is now in the place where it should be, which is a tech gaming company under SEGG Media, alongside sports.com and now concerts.com. And I think that what we've achieved in that 2.5-year period is we've now got a solid structure to take the company forward. And as I've said before in some of my recent interviews and press releases, and I absolutely believe this. The fun starts now. This is the fun part. The stressful part and the I don't have a strong enough vocabulary. The difficulties and challenges that we faced after the last 2.5 years, some of it was enjoyable, some of it was certainly an experience, and I think we all learned and gained from it. But really, where do you want to get to? You want to get to running a company, building a company, and really taking something to the markets where that vision can be executed on, and shareholders really buy into that vision and see that the execution of these new assets that we've been bringing into the holding co start operating. And that's why I say the fun really starts now.
Well, and I appreciate that. And that's why the fun is getting to interview you right now. I'm glad I didn't have to interview you in the midst of that tornado you just kind of gave us.
It wouldn't have been fun.
Well, what is fun is learning more about you as our guest, because you did have to undertake the turnaround of this company. So Matthew, if you would, tell us a little bit about what brought you to this position of CEO for this company, and then any key members, consultants, advisors, anybody key on the team that you've surrounded yourself with that you'd like to highlight now as well.
So actually, I've not been asked that question before. So what brought me to then lottery.com? I suppose the reality is that we, as an operation out of our head office being in London, Mayfair, where we built our first family office, I think we got a reasonable reputation for being turnaround specialists. We like businesses in the sectors that we understand, and of course, like challenges. With challenges sometimes comes big rewards, and I would say that a NASDAQ listed business in trouble walking into our office was unusual, especially one with such a strong brand as lottery.com. You almost think of that as a state-owned business. So I probably was as surprised as most. But as I say, I think our reputation was that, if it's in our area of expertise, then we have a good band, a good structure of guys that have appetite for turnarounds such as this. So that's our speciality. My background is primarily the automotive industry. It's aggressive. You get a great education, having spent 30 years as I have within the automotive industry, building companies, turning companies around, buying and selling. So this, when you put gaming and sports together, I think that most people in business would agree that that's a sector which is interesting, fun. Growth opportunity is huge, and we took the view that this would be a great business to get our teeth into and see whether or not it was possible to turn it around. In terms of who came along with me, this is like any business that you look to turn around of this size. You need a formidable team, and one that's experienced and has, frankly, the stomach for it. So this was one of those opportunities that I brought in some of best guys that I've worked with over the last 35 years, guys that I feel that had the appetite for something such as this. It was never going to be a short turnaround. It was always going to be actual fact, we're in budget and on plan, which is 2 to 2.5 year turnaround before we can really start concentrating on operations and implementing the aggressive buy and build strategy that we put in place. And so I would say that pretty much the entire management team now and the board that we have in place primarily are guys that I've worked with before across broad sectors, and all bring a skill set and experience that clearly has allowed us to meet this challenge and get SEGG to where it is today.
Well, where it is today, you can read more about at the Investor Brand Network. Go ahead and go in alphabetical order on that clients tab and bring up SEGG Media Corp. Again, ticker symbol SEGG. The investment considerations are fantastic on this company. And of course, you can link directly to their website, which I gave out earlier. That's seggmediacorp.com. So Matthew, as you look at the landscape of 2025 and you talk about it with the backdrop of the turnaround that you are maturing out of at this point, what do you see as some of the milestones you've been able to achieve so far this year? And I know you can probably tell my next question is going to be, what are the goals for the remainder of 2025? But to date, this year, and even at the end of 2024, what are some of the things as CEO that you're most proud of?
I think right now that I'm most proud of being able to have an interview like this with you, and I'll give you some context of that. I think there was probably a stage this time last year, for example, that I think I could be forgiven for thinking, wow, this is some challenge, and not every day did it feel like it was going our way. And that skill set that I talked to about the individuals that have been involved in this business, I think we really stretched everybody's ability. Good thing and a bad thing. A good thing is that we've all grown as a unit, as an entity. And I think that there aren't many businesses out there that we couldn't add value to now. Challenges are obviously that certain meetings, there are some stressful meetings, and people are vocal, and not all of the time do you move as one unit, and that's to be expected. There's always going to be disagreements, but by and large, I think we've pulled together superbly to get where we are today, and that's being able to talk about the future and not the past. And what I love about public companies, public life, is that actually everything is there in the public, so you don't have to keep going on about what we've done and how we did it and who did what. It's there. It's there for everybody to read. I mean, I think it is an extraordinary story, and who knows, maybe one day from using sports.com studios, which we announced a few months ago, we'll make a documentary series on it, and somebody like Netflix, I'm sure, will rip our arm off to get it, because it is a hell of a story. So I think that's probably one of my proudest moments, is better to do interviews like this and talk about the future. And of course, there's milestones that we've reached, from being compliant with NASDAQ to getting the company funded. I think in total we've brought in circa 350 million, or have access to 350 million, to get our Qs and our Ks up to speed, and filing on time is key when you're trying to turn a business around, send the right messages to current shareholders and new investors that, look, we are a well-run, well-oiled machine, and you can rely on us. But actually putting businesses together and building out a pipeline of acquisitions. I've talked about this aggressive buy and build strategy, which not always is. I'm not advocating that that is always a fix to a business that's in trouble, because it absolutely isn't. But with these brands, sports.com, lottery.com, concerts.com, I think we could argue all day as to whether or not they're the best brands in the best domain name, best brands in the world. But I think collectively they are something really special. And you've got to do those justice. And by doing those justice, you've got to identify businesses that fit within each of those verticals. And honestly, I think that we've done that. I think the next 2 years of acquiring these businesses that we've added into the pipeline is so exciting. And some we've already announced, and some we've closed on and we're about to close on. And I think that's probably, if that answers your question, probably those examples that I've given you combined probably add up to my proudest moment.
Well, and I tell you what, I'm proud of the writers at IBN for this next paragraph, because it really does sum up what you've been telling us so far. Beyond sports betting, SEGG Media also operates in the high growth arenas of streaming, esports, and AI-powered content delivery, these adjacent markets are seeing double-digit global growth as fans demand more immersive, on-demand, participatory forms of entertainment. And boy, don't we as consumers. We want more and more, from our headsets to being there in places like the Sphere. Entertainment is something near and dear, and it's not just here in America. Of course, it's globally, and you are a global brand with those three properties in and of themselves. Like you said, combined, they're powerful for sure, if not individually themselves. So when you look at sports.com and concerts and lottery.com and moving forward here in 2025 and into 2026, again, with the backdrop of the turnaround, you now have a foundation firmly in place of where you would like to see this company going moving forward. Can you share that vision with us?
It's a big vision, and I don't know whether we've got long enough, but first of all, you're right. That was beautifully said and captured. I think you've captured all of the main points, so well done. But essentially, you're right. We are moving into a really exciting time, aren't we, with entertainment and engaging with fans. And it's being in this tech space. God, it's so fast and exciting. But AI is just moving at a speed that I don't think any of us really expected. And being able to offer new fan experience, fully immersive ways of watching live sport is absolutely the way forward. And look, you can't cater for every country and every market, but you've got to be able to move with the times. And first and foremost, SEGG is a tech company, and so I make sure that it's our job to be across all of the new fan experiences that are hitting the market, looking at those that are really working, look at the ones that aren't working and how they can work and really make a difference and really create that fan experience that if you can't, for example, get to a live game or a live concert, see your favorite team, your favorite band. I'm in the US, but I would love to be in London watching Oasis tonight. How do we really capture that and make it exciting for for our users to be able to say watch a concert such as Oasis? And wouldn't it be brilliant if you could stream that concert live, within 1 second, and so you're not 20 minutes or 20 seconds or 2 hours behind what's really happening, and really feel immersed in that concert by simply sending a link to your phone. The youth of today are just changing the way, dare I say, old guys like me have to think. You've got to be on top of and understand what it is that our new users today really want. And live sport such as cricket, football, Formula One. Some of these matches can be played, races can be played over 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. A Formula One race now is, if you're really into it, is part all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And what we realised is, whilst there are purists that you absolutely have to cater for, and you would never want to water down such a fantastic brand as Formula One, football, soccer, and so on and so forth. But you've got to also be able to cater for those younger fans that may see the sport as an older sport, something that they wouldn't ordinarily be interested in. Yet suddenly there's a docuseries on Formula One, or there's a docuseries on football, or the Last Dance, or basketball, and then you capture this whole new audience, young audience that brand has never touched before. And those are the type of examples that we're excited about, because I think we're in absolutely the right space at the right time, and are ready to launch some, really exciting tech that will help expand the SEGG brand, lottery, sports, and concert, and entice new users to the brand. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Well, and I think my next question was going to be any closing comments for the shareholders and potential investors. And the potential investors just heard that last part, which, one, your excitement has been consistent throughout this interview, and that's infectious for people listening to a CEO, and also your candor about what you went through to be excited now. That also helps. So, I don't want to take that opportunity away from you, even though your closing comments really kind of came in that last segment because they were brilliant. But specifically, if you were to speak to an investor or a potential investor right now, what would you pitch them on for SEGG right now?
Look, I know you would expect a CEO to say this. Frankly, you'd expect anybody in business to say this. Transparency is everything. We started off this interview talking about how we got to this point. And, I've explained to you how we came across lottery.com and how it's taken 2.5 years to get to where we are today. And we see ourselves as turnaround specialists. And I have to be careful with that because that means as a turnaround specialist, you're only in for a short period of time. You turn a business around and then you pass the baton on to somebody else. You're a custodian for this short period of time. Well, this project has not only fueled excitement across the management team and the board, it has certainly got my attention. And it's one of the few businesses that I've been involved in since 2015 that I want to see this through. And this is no longer a turnaround. This is now execution of what I think is a beautifully built vision. And so the answer, I apologize, long-winded way of answering that question is that we're in this for the long haul. And so I get to see through this vision that we put together, that the board have bought into, the management team have bought into, and seemingly our long-term shareholders have bought into. And with the activity of the stock over the last few months, it seems like so are our new investors. So my message would be, look, without trying to sound repetitive, the fun really does start here. The next 6 months is key for SEGG. There are some really exciting acquisitions and announcements that I think will, if you can imagine when you were a kid and you used to play the dot to dot with those puzzles, and then at the end you look back and go, well, that's a fantastic picture. I didn't see it when it was just a whole formation of dots. That's going to happen for SEGG Media over the coming months.
Well, once again, we're speaking with Matthew McGahan. He is the chairman and CEO of the company SEGG Media Corp, and you can find them on the NASDAQ under that ticker symbol SEGG. Well, we're going to be here for the excitement. We're going to be tracking it right alongside. You can pick up the news. You can pick up the company media presentation. Of course, visit them at their website as well. Matthew, I appreciate your insights, your candor, and your excitement today. We look forward to great things from you and your entire team here in 2025, but well beyond. Thanks, Matthew.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. For Matthew McGahan, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and leave the comments as well. We'd love to hear what you think of this interview right here at the Investor Brand Network and our GotStocks Podcast.
The GotStocks Podcast is an original content production powered by IBN, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers next-generation corporate communication solutions. Utilizing proprietary corporate communication tools such as news aggregation and syndication, social communication, and brand awareness techniques, among others, IBN introduces both public and private companies to diverse audiences to enhance reach and recognition. IBN may receive compensation for services and solutions provided to its client partners. You should assume that the owners, officers, and directors of IBN or financial analysts mentioned in this production may hold a position in and may intend to trade the securities in their own accounts. This production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that may be mentioned in this production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries inherent investment risk. Listeners should review the companies thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This production by IBN is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used in statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by IBN as to completeness and accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please see IBN's full disclaimers and disclosures at www.ibn.fm/disclaimer. Music in this episode is by Infraction. For more, visit inaudio.org.